We'll start with Group B,
The
then move to Group A, so the
Championships
top
in
qualifiers
Frankfurt
will be the last to go, as is customary in an all-round competition. 18 have made it into the final, so we'll have 9 in Group B, 9 in Group A. We'll only have one winner. Who's it going to be? Margarita Kolosov is down on the arena floor. She's one of the presenters. She's also the chief cheerleader at the moment. Great to have those young fans with us. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching the action from. My name's Ollie Hoffman, and I will be talking you through everything over the next few days. But don't let that put you off too much, because there's plenty of fun to be had in the Festhalle. This city is on the banks of the River Main, and due to its many skyscrapers, it's often nicknamed Manhattan. So we'll find out today who's going to be made in Manhattan, who's going to be the main attraction, and who is going to be securing not just bronze, silver and gold in the all-around, but winning a coveted 3 Olympic qualification places. Because the athletes that finish in the top 3 will get a golden ticket for their nation, not for them personally. More on the intricacies of that later. They will get the first 3 tickets to Los Angeles 2028. So extra salt and pepper added to this rhythmic gymnastics feast. So much at stake. The championships of the world, and Group B will be the first to take to the carpet. Congratulations to all of the gymnasts who've made it into this final. Group B, the gymnasts who qualified from 10th through to 18th in the preliminary stage. And all eyes will really be on Taisia Franfrukt of Ukraine, who's one of the most decorated gymnasts out there. She could well be the pace setter in this first set of gymnasts, the first 9. And if she has the sort of performance that we know she can produce, she could well be on the podium. Here they are, the contenders. Good fortune to them all. Being shown up on the big screen. Extra big cheer for Daria Varfolomeev, the home gymnast, the reigning 2-time all-around champion of the world. We've got gymnasts from all over the world. And we've got some new names for you as well. Some gymnasts who are quite new to the senior international stage, who are really hoping to establish themselves as seniors, having had junior success. There were a few surprises here and there in the qualification phase. For those of you who are newer to how rhythmic gymnastics works, and I know many of you pick now as a very good time to start watching the sport or watching it again ahead of the Olympiad, I will guide you through how everything works in this sport, what to be watching out for, how the judging is conducted, how the numbers are calculated. I know for many of you it's information you know all too well. But whoever you are, wherever you're watching from, welcome, you're in the right place. It's the championships of the world, and it's the individual all-around final. We start with the gymnasts who were qualifying from 10th through to 18th place, with Group A to come later on. This is Vera Tugolukova, the Cypriot Olympian who competed in Paris. She's come to the 2026 season with all new music this year. She was the 17th best in qualification, but could well move up. She starts with hoop, which was her lowest scoring apparatus in the preliminary round, with 26.5. She'll be looking forward to getting this out the way and improving. Oh, what a finish. Such rapidity in the turns to conclude. Big display from Vera Tugalukova to start to Fergie's B Italian. And how good it must feel to have really come out and put behind her that issue she had in qualification. As I'm sure many of you know, in the qualifying round, the gymnasts do all 4 exercises, or they can do all 4 exercises, they don't have to, but only 3 scores count. And so, consequently, there is the opportunity for a discard that you don't get in the final when all of the 4 scores aren't counting scores. So sometimes that can make the qualification positions a little misleading. One thing that's clear about Vera Tugalukova is the way that she has a more musically distinctive style this season. The choreography looks improved, the choice of music is quite diverse and quite bold.
And here's our second gymnast, representing Israel, Daniela Munitz.
Now to the gymnast who was 13th in qualification, but with the potential to really pick things up and move up the standings. She scored 26.9 with the ball in the preliminary stage. This is the 18-year-old from Israel, Daniela Munitz. Really nice performance from Daniela Munitz of Israel to get her campaign started. She's a gymnast whose artistry has been in very clear development, which is lovely to see, and some of the footwork that she does there belongs so properly with the choreography, or rather with the orchestration. It's a nice sense of musical awareness. She's also a very technical and precise gymnast. A little adjustment, very tiny, as she makes a reconnection with the apparatus. Good height in the leaps. Right up onto releve for the tour chaîné déboulé, the chaîné turns that are one of the fundamental principles of balletic training. Little rebound to just add something small to the difficulty. But the overall sense of artistic cohesion, that's been nice to see really developing in the young Israeli. Vera Tugalukova. She's won several World Cup honours this season, and she starts with a much improved 28.9. So the first gymnast to perform has gained almost 2.5 marks from qualification.
Also representing Israel, welcome, Maita Sumkin.
Now, to a gymnast performing with the clubs, and she's had a difficult time with them here. Actually had a club before qualification get lost up in the ceiling. Had to use a different set for her qualifying routine, scored 24.45, reminiscent of the problems she had at the last World Championships. Good luck to Metal Sumkin on putting that behind her here. She's a great young athlete. Oh, it was such a dignified and determined effort from her, it really was. And it was just, unfortunately, one of those days where the clubs really were not on her side. And you do feel for her because at the World Championships last year, where she was 10th in the all-round competition, the clubs were tricky.
What she expected.
Poor Maytal, it's such a strong routine. She started off so great. The first DA catch was so
wonderful
and so risky
energy
and so
to her
difficult.
performance. She is somebody who's easy to watch.
The whole routine. Sadly, there were some drops.
She communicates
really
this vivacity.
Catchings? I don't know. Yeah, but it was a very energetic routine, very dynamic. Such a great gymnast.
For those of you who are newer to watching rhythmic gymnastics, I think something that's worth pointing out is the significance of dropping the apparatus, because a lot depends on what you've done before as to how costly it is. The loss and retrieval deductions aren't necessarily huge. If you don't have to take any steps, you only lose half a mark. Come back to that in a moment as Munich scores a 27.75. So she has gained the best part of a mark compared to qualifying, just over 3/4. But something to watch out for when the gymnasts lose the apparatus is if they've been doing a particularly complicated set of skills beforehand, like a risk, they throw it high, do a couple of forward rolls and then don't complete the catch, they'll also not get the difficulty credit as well as having the drop deduction. We move now to one of the first gymnasts from Italy. There'll be another coming later on. This is Tara Dragash, 19-year-old who is very well known for her work with this apparatus, but it was her weakest in qualification. At her best, she is one of the smoothest and most technically secure gymnasts out there, with among the greatest turns in the world. Some of them the greatest in the history of the sport, I would go so far as to say. The reigning three-time consecutive ribbon champion of Italy, which is no mean feat. Such a high standard at their national championships. Beautiful. Really important in that wonderful Raffaelli turn that what she does is not just get the completely vertical body position, but also that she's high up on releve, as you can see there. Releve, for those who don't know, is that raised position of the foot, a balletic fundamental, because the moment a gymnast's heel comes into contact with the carpet when they're performing skills in releve, then everything they do after that has the difficulty invalidated. And there have been some issues with Dragaš in her career of having beautiful technique in the upper part of the turn but not having the releve. 23.05 for Metal Sumkin is unfortunately a big drop from qualifying of 1.4. He's one of the most popular out there.
Representing Ukraine, Naisia Onofichuk.
Winner of 2 medals at the last World Championships, the gymnast who turned 18 on the day of podium training at the European Championships earlier this year. It is, of course, Naisia Onofichuk. She was only the 12th best in qualifying, but at her best, she's a thriller. Well, listen to the reaction of the Frankfurt faithful for one of their favourites, one of the world's favourites, Naisia Onofichuk. Some complexities, also some moments of brilliance. She's got a connection with this country. She has a cousin in Germany and sometimes travels to see her. She was recently asked where she sees herself in 5 to 10 years, and she just simply replied, happy, and was asked, what does happiness look like for you? And she said, family. Little drop there, not a huge one in terms of execution deductions. As I said before, 5 tenths for no steps, 7 tenths for 1 to 2, and 3 plus steps is a full mark. Great inhabiter of the mood of the music, what you would call a character performer.
Dritte war sie bei der Europameisterschaft in diesem Jahr in Varna. Da ist Onofichuk und dann warten wir hier auf die Wertung für
Dragaš, who was born near the Slovenian border. Mother Schkeller was born in Ljubljana. 27.1, so a good improvement from qualification. Let's get a small penalty of 500s for finishing behind the music.
The fifth in the World Championship all around the last year.
Now let's watch her really closely.
Uzbekistan, Fatima Ikromova.
This is a gymnast who only just made it into the all-around final, but she was 5th at the championships last year in Brazil. And she's going to start with her weakest apparatus from qualification, which might be a good thing to get it out of the way. At her best, she's way, way higher than scraping into a final. She's a contender for the podium. It is the experienced Takhmina Ikromova, the 22-year-old from Uzbekistan. Not incident-free for Takhmina Ikromova, but another exercise with moments of brilliance. She gets so much difficulty awarded due to her strong turns, particularly in the ring position. One of the great features of her work. Straight up into it, completely vertical back leg. She's another who has to watch that the releve position is high when she starts. She doesn't have that drop of the heel onto the mat and invalidate the difficulty.
Is so great. She's so
little drop there.
So fast. I hope she can leave the mistake behind and continue with
that was maybe just a slight sense of skipping across the carpet, a little rushed feel to make sure that she made the connection. Great trajectory on the wrists, those couple of forward rolls with a well-timed trap, no body adjustment to bring that under control. She has spoken of her desire, Takhmina Ikromova, to study acting after she's finished her gymnastics career. Oh, that will do the job. 29.1, that is up by close to half a mark from qualification.
Next gymnast for the People's Republic of China, please welcome
now.
Wang Qi.
Do not let this gymnast out of your sight over the next few years. What a prospect we've got on our hands here. Silver medalist at the Junior World Championships last year. That was with the ball. Now she performs with the clubs. Her strongest apparatus in qualification. Overall the 10th best. So the strongest in this particular cluster of gymnasts. It is the athlete who's not quite 16. That's next month. Wang Qi from Tianjin in the northeast of the People's Republic of China. Very clean, very precise, very artistic as well. Super gymnast. Welcome to the Senior World Championships, Wang Qi. Very exciting athlete to watch. She's got that ability to connect with the audience. I don't think it'll surprise you to learn that she has a very musical background. She's an accomplished piano player, and she has a background in jazz, ballet, modern and classical Chinese. Huge part of her life, dance. And I think something to bear in mind when you watch her is that she has spoken of thinking of the apparatus as her partner, as a dance partner. Can't you see it here?
Sie hat in einem Zitat gesagt, dass ihre Trainerin ihr wirklich ans Herz legt, einen starken Glauben an sich selbst zu haben.
Amidst all of that fun, there's also a lot of technique, and it's very sharp.
Und dass ihr so hilft bei dieser WM hier.
She's really one to monitor very closely. 26.75 for Tahmina Ikramova. So it is 7/10 higher than qualifying, but it isn't the sort of game that she would have been hoping for. The reigning four-time Asian all-around champion after a bit of a tricky start. Now we turn our attentions to one of the most popular gymnasts out there, and the ever quiet Brazilian fans, only joking, are in full voice in the Festhalle in Frankfurt. Yes, there they are, right on cue, supporting the Seleção Brasileira. And this is Babi Domingos. And she starts with really a favoured apparatus for her, one that she has had real success in. Here's the reigning Pan American all-around champion. Just bags of character as ever from Bárbara Domingos of Brazil. The distinctive sounds of aquele abraço by Gilberto Gil. First Brazilian to win the individual all-around title at the Pan American Games. There she is from Curitiba, in the southeast of the country in Paraná State. An Olympian from Paris. She really does inject very inherently Brazilian choreography to her work, particularly with the ribbon. And she told a wonderful story some years ago of how she actually went for samba lessons when she was trying to develop her dance style, and she joked, she said, I actually thought I knew how to do samba until I went for lessons, and it turned out I didn't. Because of course it is just a style of dance that is just part of the cultural capital of Brazil. Brazil's one of only 2 countries I've been to where every single person knows the lyrics and dance moves to every single song. It's amazing. You put something on the radio in Brazil and everyone knows it. I'll leave you guessing as to the other country. 28.6 for Wang Qi. Exactly as she scored in qualification.
damit kommen wir zur
Great
letzten
start.
Gymnastin in dieser ersten Rotation von Gruppe B. Representing the United States of America für die USA, Keys.
To a gymnast who's competing at her second senior championships of the world, having won a silver medal with the ball in Rio last year. She's also a junior world championship medalist. 11th best in qualification, with the potential to make an upwards move, especially with ball next. The Star-Spangled Banner is flying in support of young Rin Keys. Big reception for the very popular Californian Rin Keys. The first American rhythmic gymnast to win a world championship medal at any level. She's had plenty of success in World Cup competition this season in those regular calendar events that take place dotted across the course of the year. Very artistic athlete. She gets really high set of artistry scores generally. Lovely extension of the leg to bring the apparatus under control.
Yes, last year she was already very
those forward rolls in,
championship this year now too,
and still keeps that sense of presentation as she reconnects with the hoop.
Very great risks, very great leaps.
And here's the score for Barbara Domingos.
27.25. So for Domingos, that is just 500ths down from qualification.
And we are waiting for the score for Rin Keys, and then we will continue with the second rotation. So Rin wrote history for the gymnastics, for the rhythmic gymnastics in the USA. To win an individual medal at the Senior World Championship was historical last year. The silver medal in the ball competition was the first ever medal for America. Once again, a round of applause for Rin Keys, United States of America.
Just waiting for this score to come in for Rin Keys, and we go back to the top for the second of 4 rotations. Her younger sister Nina, by the way, is part of the national team and won the junior American ribbon title this year. So huge congratulations to her. 28.65 for Keys. Very well done. That is a 1.3 gain from qualification. All of it means that after rotation number 1 in this first half of the individual all-around competition, Taisia Franfrukt is 2/10 ahead of Vera Tugolukova.
third now.
Wang Chi in third position, but a long way to go.
We're ready to continue with the second rotation. Please welcome the gymnast from Cyprus, Vera Tugolukova.
Now we have Vera Tugolukova from Cyprus in second place after one rotation. She scored 27.85 in qualification for this exercise. Really got a clear sense of style. Oh, it's another belt of a finish from Tugolukova. What amplitude she got in that release. Perfect positioning as well on the ground to recover the ball. Just that idea of putting an exclamation point at the end of the exercise. Nice little stag jump. The start of that.
Nach dem ersten Gerät mit 28,90 ist sie perfekt in diesen Wettkampf gestartet und es ging.
Definitely a sense of greater choreographic presence to her work. She performed those raised or extended leg fouettes very nicely, and there, boom, right at the end. So much that can go wrong. Because if you don't have that control of the apparatus at the close of the exercise, you're in real trouble. Full mark goes off the score.
Representing Israel, Daniela Munitz.
It's Daniela Munitz of Israel. Started with a 27.75 with the ball, an improvement from qualification of close to a mark. Club's performance scored 26.65 in the preliminary round. She won a bronze medal with the clubs at the recent World Cup in Italy. Those of you out there who also follow the sport of figure skating, I don't know if you find, as I do, that her Sinead turns almost have a gliding action as though she's actually on ice. It's incredible how quickly she moves and the sense of a total absence of friction on the ground.
Eine wichtige Bitte an Sie, liebe Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer. Wir haben alles dafür getan, dass hier die Festhalle perfekt ausgeleuchtet ist, um schöne Fotos und Videos zu erstellen.
Some lovely moments in this exercise.
Licht- und Blitzfunktion an eurem Smartphone ausstellen. Das
This
stört
was
die
very, very
enorm.
close to
We have ensured that
going
the lighting
completely
here is
out of the
perfectly
area.
set up, so your smartphone
Would
should
have
be
carried a
able
few
to
penalty
capture
tents.
great photos and videos without using any additional light or flash. This can disturb the gymnast. Thank you very much for your
Again,
cooperation and understanding.
That sense of a developing artistic style to her work. Wonderful to watch. She's been the champion of Europe with the apparatus. As we go back to Vera Tugolukova, who gets a 27 score. So that is a drop of 0.85 from qualification.
Next gymnast, representing Israel, Maital Sunkin.
Now, not the easiest of starts for this great young athlete from Tel Aviv. Maital Sunkin now performs with the ribbon. This was her second strongest score in qualification. She was the 14th best overall. Well, the crowd absolutely adored that. And it's easy to see why, because it's got so much explosivity and energy. Very much typical of what she can bring, albeit with its own unique choreographic style that fits that music really nicely. What she does with her hands, some of the little snaps, she has moments of stillness and then changes gear, changes pace very quickly. It works nicely. Lovely, quite creative recovery of the apparatus, catching between the legs. Again, that's a great moment, isn't it? Just works so nicely with the beat. The moment that you know everyone will remember, that there'll be photographs taken of it, people uploading it to social media. There again, just committing to the musical style. Because nothing's worse than going at something half-hearted. Especially if it's music like that, you've got to embrace it, and she does.
30.050 points.
Wow. What a spectacular display. 30.05.
What a score.
That is
gymnast.
3.5 marks stronger than qualification.
Tara Dragaš.
And it's just brilliant. Tara Dragaš of Italy started with the 27.1 with the ribbon. Now her hoop performance. She's been national champion in every apparatus except for hoop. Let's see what she can produce here at world level. Oh, goodness, what a shame right at close of play. And I don't know about you, but I was utterly enchanted by watching that. It was just so musical, so sensitive. And then just one of those one in a million what happened there moments. Oh, elite sport is cruel, isn't it? Such grace in this exercise. Beautiful turns that she performs so well. That bend in the leap is very strong, working unsighted to get extra difficulty. But there, and it's not just the need to retrieve that she takes a few steps, probably loses a mark there. It's all of the difficulty that's gone, everything she was going to perform under the apparatus when it took flight. 28.35, that is character. She's a mark up from qualification. She's just regained what she lost pretty much with the clubs.
Representing Ukraine, Taya Franfrukt.
Here she is, the leader after one rotation, with her many, many fans looking forward to this, her second ball routine of the year. Taisa on a free trick. Oh, what a mighty display from Taisia on a free chuck. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Fabulous. If you're going to change the orchestration mid-season, you've got to be sure it's the right move. This has worked so well. And that bringing together of Björk, herself such an eccentric and unusual performer, put next to somebody who can capture the eccentric, to somebody who can find a mood that others would not be able to access. That's her strength.
Taya Onofrichuk, representing Ukraine.
Super display.
And here's the score for Tara Dragaš.
Tara Dragaš, 26.25. So unfortunately for her, that's a drop of 1.9 from qualification.
Takhmina Ikramova.
Here she is, the reigning clean sweep Asian champion. 6 gold medals won in Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan. An incredible accomplishment. And she's won 4 Asian all-around titles. Takhmina Ikramova, 26.75 with the clubs in qualifying. The enduringly popular Takhmina Ikramova from Uzbekistan, the city of Samarkand, one of the oldest in the world, on the Silk Road, along with Tashkent, where she currently lives. Won a whole host of medals at the World University Games last year. She's a student at the Uzbek State University of Physical Culture and Sport.
Not that a good clubs routine, but today, wow. She caught everything.
Looks to have been a real response to the 26.75 in qualification.
She's so beautiful. It's so nice watching her.
And here's the next score. The score for Taya Onofrichuk. 28.7.
That is an enormous improvement. She's gained 2.9 from qualification.
Next gymnast, please welcome, representing the People's Republic of China, Wang Qi.
Here is one of the standout performers after rotation 1. This is Wang Qi from the People's Republic of China. Music that she really enjoys. This is the battle song of Bitsang by Yang Binying, a Chinese film and television composer from the Legend of Shun Li. at its best, this is such a memorable piece of rhythmic gymnastics. Very different from what she does with the clubs too, showing her great versatility. Isn't that lovely? It's not the same gymnast at all that performed with the clubs, which is wonderful because it's a million miles away musically. She's really somebody who pays attention to the artistic side of things. She's actually said that thinking about artistry, focusing on storytelling, on narrative construction gets her through those long training sessions where otherwise you want to pack it in and go home for your tea.
Can we speak about how beautiful this routine just was? She's so young, she's 15 years old, it's her first senior year. She won already the World Challenge Cup in Beijing, the all-around. She's so confident, so clean, so beautiful.
One of the things that we didn't get to see there is just the precision of her fouette turns, which are quite superb. 28.35 for Tahmina Ikromova. So she gains about a mark and a half, just slightly more from qualification.
Gymnast, please welcome, representing Brazil, Bárbara Domingos.
Twenty-six-year-old Bárbara Domingos from Brazil, competing at her 7th World Championships, and what progress she's made over the years. The Brazilian Babi Domingos, who I'm sure many of you remember back in 2018, she was 54th in the all-around competition, went to 31st in 2019. Then she started to become a regular finalist. Great advertisements for perseverance. A gymnast like her will know how to deal with something like that. It is just one of those things that happens. She's an absolute master of playing the long game, of being very goal-oriented.
Sie war die erste brasilianische Gymnastin, die es in ein Finale bei den Olympischen Spielen geschafft hat.
Takes such responsibility for her training, for her own destiny.
Sie schafft es bestimmt, sich zurückzukämpfen.
What an inspiration to a young gymnast like her, who herself is going to be a great inspiration to many gymnasts in years to come. 27.6 for Wang Chi, just 2/10 down from qualifying.
Bei der 9. Gymnastin jetzt in dieser zweiten Rotation, representing the United States of America, Rin Keys.
Now, this is the really important routine for Keys. Not that there's anyone in an all-around competition that isn't important, but she scored 25.45 with the ball in the preliminary stage. This is the one that she wants to transform. She started so well with the hoop, 28.65. That's a delight. I mean, that really is such an artistic tour de force. She's so connected with the music. Definitely one of those exercises where you stop and you go, oh, hang on a minute, she's actually doing some gymnastics here. I need to remind myself that this is more than simply a lovely exhibition dance display, because, and that's when rhythmic gymnastics is at its best, when every single element just seems to flow from one to the next. But she's got real jumping power, something to pay attention to. And she also has beautiful execution of the fouette turns, those classical whipped turns. Chaîné turns are good as well.
Yes, sadly she didn't qualify for the ball final on Sunday, but
one thing to watch for, those fouette turns.
Vice world champion.
Because in this exercise, her standing leg was just glued to the spot.
Du weißt die Finals? Crazy.
Einige Sachen bleiben mir einfach im Kopf, auch mit den Medaillen, und wenn man Gesichter sieht und die Mädels sieht, einfach, das kann man nicht vergessen.
Und hier schauen wir auf die Punktzahl für die Brasilianerin Bárbara Domingos. Das sind
28.25. Well done to Bárbara Domingos. So she's gained 6/10 from qualification. Good jump. We're at the close of the first half of this group now, by the way, which essentially brings us to the 1/4 mark of the entire competition. Goes by quickly once it gets going, because the action comes thick and fast, with a couple of judging panels assessing the athletes. So a chance to look back at the display of Rinke's nice attempt to get full toe point, well executed. Just little details.
Can offer eye and hearing protection. Und dann hat die Gruppe B die Hälfte der Übungen absolviert. 2 von 4 für die ersten 9, die hier jetzt in diesen Wettkampf eingestiegen sind. Der Einzel-Mehrkampf. Und wir warten auf die Punktzahl von Rinke's.
So once this score comes in, back to the top of the order, and we'll go round to the second half of this group.
Let's cheer together. Hello! Und es war schön, gerade auch die Flaggen zu sehen. Können wir denn alle noch mal die Fahnen sehen? Wo sind denn eure Fahnen? Zeigt alle mal die Fahne nach oben. Show us all your flags. Come on, everybody. Frankfurt! That looks great. Everybody now, come on, all the flags. And let's clap together.
Welcome if you're just joining. The Daria Varfolomeo fans are getting ready to make some noise in the second half of this all-around final. We've got some way to go before that happens. Still 2 more rotations to come in the first half. You are watching the individual all-around final at the Rhythmic Gymnastics World Championships in Frankfurt, Germany. The 4th time that the championships have taken place in this country, on the banks of the River Main.
For the People's Republic of China, new score 28.0 points.
Now just hearing word there of a change score, I'll bring you up to speed on that in just a moment. And here we go. So she did look, as did her coach, at the close of the routine when the score came in, that it wasn't as she expected it to be. And there we go. Wong Chi has had a 4/10 increase to her score. That's a pretty significant one. And I'm sure many of you know this, but just in case you don't, you can only challenge the difficulty, which is split into 2 portions, apparatus and body. Challenge one or the other or both. Meanwhile, Rinke's 27.9, so that was the big improvement she was hoping for, or at least some way of it. She's gained almost 2.5 from qualifying. Well, we're going to go back round to the top. We're halfway through Group B. Group A to come later. These are the gymnasts who qualified 10th through to 18th. 1 to 9 are going to come after these gymnasts have had their say. And here is Vera Tugolukova. Good start with the hoop, dropped a bit with the ball, now to clubs. The Wonder Woman-inspired clubs routine of Vera Tugolukova of Cyprus.
Vera Tugolukova
Turns 18 next month. The gymnast who was the youngest in the field at the Olympic Games in Paris. She had a tough competition at her senior debut World Championships last year, finishing 26th in the all-around competition, so she's done well here to make it into the final and to be performing at a high level.
Ja, gestern ist leider gegen die Stange oben geknallt. Das zeigt doch mal, wie hoch die Mädels werfen und wie präzise ihre Würfe fliegen, dass sie danach
ever Cypriot gymnast to be a World Cup champion in the regular season.
Einfach erstaunlich.
Wir kommen zur Führenden nach 2 Geräten. Representing Israel, the current leader, Daniela Munitz.
Now, what a promising start made by Daniela Munitz. We always suspected that she had the potential for this. Massive improvements compared to the qualification phase. Now, she's got to carry this onto the ribbon. This was the weakest apparatus in qualifying, 26.1. She discarded that score to qualify, but in this final, all scores count. This is the big one. Some very clean catches of the ribbon in that display from Daniela Munitz. You might be able to see that there are quite a few spectators who were fanning themselves during that. It's a very warm day across virtually all of Europe, across much of the world, a very warm summer, and what you can't do is have air conditioning blasting in an arena like this size, because you'll get real ribbon drift.
Yes, very great routine.
There did seem to be one moment where the ribbon just seemed to swing backwards towards her and result in her having to take a static position. I'm not sure if that was just my imagination.
And here is the next score.
Well done, 29.25. She's a million miles away from where she was in qualification at the moment. Tugolukova up way over a mark and a half from qualifying. It's the job of these gymnasts to put the pressure on those in the second half of the competition. Nobody expects a gymnast from the B group to be on the podium, but you never know. We've got gymnasts in this field who could be. This is Metel Sumkin of Israel. Really got things back on track with her ribbon routine after a tough start with the clubs. This was her best exercise in qualifying. Again, you just feel such sympathy for her. And again, it was such a determined, such a strong effort, even when things didn't go right. A real problem for gymnasts here, almost compounds things, is that when they lose the apparatus in this space, and it just pings off the feet here, it just goes hurtling out of bounds. The carpet is on a raised platform, and so if that apparatus goes, it really goes. It disappears off the edge and just plops off the abyss. The moment the apparatus goes out of bounds, you then got to worry about the replacement apparatus. You lose so much. You also lose the chance to perform any of the difficulty that you're intending in that intermediary recovery period. Daniela Muniz, 27.35. So she has gained 1¼ marks from qualifying. She's way up. Big mover, Daniela Muniz. Keep an eye on her. Now, this was the strongest exercise in qualification for Tara Dragaš. Great routine, this so much fun. 28.45 in the preliminary round for the all-around silver medalist at the Italian Championships. '19-year-old Tara Dragaš of Italy, champion of her country with the ball.
What a great routine.
Have a look back at this great display. Sinead turns, well performed, nice catch into the backwards walkover.
So we get to see her on Sunday again. It was so fun watching her.
It
She
really
enjoyed it
is
probably as well.
just full of vivacity.
Auch schön das Zusammenspiel der Farben, Ball und Gymnastikanzug. Und wir kommen zur Wertung für Maital Sumkin. This is the score for Sumkin,
26.3.
26,30 Punkte.
So Maital Sumkin unfortunately is down by 1.8 from qualification. Well, she's made a very compelling start and she's got the clubs to come. Silver medalist at the Junior World Championships back in 2023 with this apparatus. That's when the world really first took notice of Taisia Onofrichuk. Now she's come here as a gymnast who's been the all-around champion of Europe. It's been a good start. Can she keep it going? Taisia Onofrichuk, I think you'll know this routine. She's been performing it for a while. It's one of her iconic routines. Taisia Franfrukt, and how can you be iconic at the age of 18? I don't know, but she's managed it. The Ukrainian gymnast says, Frankfurt, I'm going to make you sweat. And Frankfurt replies, it's 36 degrees in the middle of a heat wave and we're in a packed arena. Taisia, we're way ahead of you, but thanks anyway.
Everybody dance now. Wow. Richtig, richtig cool. Die ganze Halle hat gewebt mit ihr.
We're hearing the analysis in German in the arena of Margarita Kolosov, who would utterly find that right up her street because she was that sort of characterful performer, loved the big choreographic styles, loved intense energy. 28.35, Tara Dragash. Virtually the same as qualification, just a tenth down. Well, this year, Takhmina Ikromova finally won the Asian title that she'd been missing in her incredible collection, because she has 24 gold medals at continental level, but she got the ribbon title at last. Now, can she carry that renewed love affair with this apparatus into the World Championships? Uzbekistan's Takhmina Ikromova, winner of almost 40 World Cup medals. She's got a great record across the regular season. She won the ribbon title at the World University Games last year as well. She's somebody who has impressed so many with her sense of artistic awareness, as well as for those wonderful turns that she performs with such skill. She gets a lot of difficulty from the turns. Again, we haven't had the opportunity to see any of them, but take my word for it. I'll try, if we get some glimpses of the turns in the replays, to talk about how you actually earn difficulty. But for those of you who are new to rhythmic gymnastics, it's an important thing to realise. You get a mark for the first rotation and then smaller marks for the rotations that follow after it. But you've got to be correct with the base rotation, that starting position, in order to then get the difficulty credit for the things that come afterwards. And some turns are more difficult than others in terms of the initial evaluation from the judges. Most of them are much of a muchness when it comes to what you get afterwards. There's not a huge discrepancy for the additional rotations. But some of those turns have a much higher starting difficulty score than others.
Also keiner will sich gerade irgendwelche
But
Fehler
obviously,
erlauben
like
und es
all forms of
macht wirklich
gymnastics,
Spaß,
you've
das
got
zu
to
sehen.
judge the risk that you're willing to take, because there's no point doing something of considerable difficulty if you lose so much execution when you perform it that you cancel out what you gain. So for all athletes and coaches, it's a matter of being able to focus on things like that, like the artistry, and not having the difficulty so front and centre that you just end up performing a whole sequence of really discombobulated skill moves that don't belong together. A rhythmic gymnastics routine mustn't look like a sort of jumbled up tombola, really, of skills where you just sort of open it, pick out a number and say, this is that skill, great, lovely, here's another one. The whole thing should feel like a performance. And when you see someone like Taisi on a free choke, you see a gymnast who does give you that whole package.
Und hier ist die Wertung für Taya Onofrichuk. This is the score for the Ukrainian gymnast. 29 points.
Hell, I never. 29.75.
In the all-around ranking. Und damit ist sie
Kalou Kaleo Frabjeste, to quote a rather obscure poet, she will be absolutely thrilled, as will her fans, with these kind of marks, because she's well up from her 12th place in qualifying. We did say Taisi on a free choke would be likely the one to watch from this first group. However, turns out we've all got to watch this one. What a breakout senior world championships for a characterful performer from the People's Republic of China. This is Wang Qi. And she's proven that for her, artistry is not a mere bagatelle. It's front and centre. It's in the forefront of her mind, and it's in the forefront of our minds when we watch her perform. Really interesting looking at the artistic journey of her pieces as she breathes a sigh of relief at the end of that Wang Qi. We started with very frivolous and playful. We moved to something with quite a strong narrative structure that was very elegant. This is the focused and intense display. There was one moment near the end where the hoop just seemed to have an irregular flight. It oscillated quite a bit in the air, which can carry a small deduction for the overall aesthetic quality of the apparatus. And she did seem to have to adjust trajectory, but lovely chaîné turns, very quick rotations to go into that unsighted trap with the legs.
This is the score for Tahmina Ikromova. 27.450 points.
27.45 is the Takmina Ikromova score.
From Brazil, Barbara Domingos.
Well, she has overall demonstrated really strong improvement. She's well up from qualification, as we hoped she would be, Ikromova. Now, the ever-popular Barbara Domingos, who competed at her home World Championships in Rio de Janeiro last year. She's one of those people who just loves this sport. She and rhythmic gymnastics will likely never be torn apart. At least she managed to get hands on it at the end, but there were two big moments in the second half of that exercise that are going to be really costly for the score of Barbara Domingos, because otherwise it was looking lovely. Had to go out of bounds, and she did incredibly actually to stop the ball from going right over the edge of the platform down onto the arena floor to evoke the most popular sport in Brazil. It was a save really that the great Claudio Taffarel would have been happy with. She was so close to that going right off the It's another cracking finish from Rin Keys of the USA. She was 7th in the all-around competition at the last Championships of the World in Brazil. That was the best American all-around finish since Laura Zheng was 6th in 2017. I hope Laura Zheng is watching this and knows just what an impact she had on this next generation coming through, because you need somebody to be your inspiration. You need somebody to show you that gymnasts from your nation can be right up there. And that's what the great Laura Zheng did. She's got some lovely little details to her work choreographically. Look at these very nice fouette turns. A little bit more movement on the base leg there than at other points in this competition, but she really does get high up into releve. 23.55 is an unfortunate score for Mabi Domingos because of those couple of losses of the apparatus. We'll wait for the score for Rin Keys to come in before we go back round to the top of the order for the very last time. In around about 45 minutes, we'll have the top group of qualifiers going. Rather warm conditions in the Festhalle in Frankfurt. Huge arena. Not that they have a shortage of really large buildings in Frankfurt. As I mentioned at the start, it's known as Manhattan. 29.3, wow! Huge number! Hitting all the right keys. Well done, Rin. Look at the standings. Taisia on a Franfrukt. That is a medal contending where she is at the moment, albeit in the second group. That's a very tough task for anyone in Group 2 actually to go beyond. Right, as the old song says, let's go round again. Last rotation for the gymnasts who qualified 10th through to 18th for this World Championship individual all-around final in Germany. Ollie Hogben here, great to have you with us wherever you're watching from. Sit back, relax. Well, I don't think you can relax really watching rhythmic gymnastics, it's too dramatic. But have a great time watching what's left of this first group. Here's Vera Tugolukova, who's made a compelling start. Vera Tugolukova to Hiromi Iwasaki's Cinderella honeymoon. Very distinctive and popular bit of music. The gymnast who won a bronze medal in the Athens World Cup with the ribbon in her senior international debut, the first ever Cypriot individual medalist in World Cup competition. So she's been known for her work with the ribbon for quite some time. And that is her all-around competition done, the first to complete the all-around. Now she sits back and waits to see where she'll finish. It's going to be way better than last year, that's clear. Now this was ferocious in qualification. 29.45 for Daniela Muniz. If she can replicate this here, her position is going to vastly improve. She'll get real amplitude. Watch for the height of the throws. Lovely change of dynamic at the end. After all of that intensity, just almost quietly lets the routine fade away. And it's rather unexpected because you get so many routines, I think they enjoyed it, so many routines that have a very high energy finish, and she just lets that softly have the volume turned down, metaphorically. It's really nice. And really gets height on that hoop. Scrapes the paint off the ceiling with it. And manages to keep its shape. That may be, strangely, the showpiece moment in the whole exercise. Despite all of this difficult work, had to just scamper very slightly to modify her position, but made light of it. Good toe point as well as she rebounds the hoop. It's funny how that little pass across the body and flick back up with the legs in the partial splits position, it is maybe the moment we all remember just for its originality. 27.35, so 112.5 is the total score. 112.5 now becomes the number for everyone to beat to take the all-around championship of the world. The final performance for Israel's Metal Sumkin.
Certo ci fu qualche tempesta. Mio amore, mio dolce, mio meraviglia.
Great little finish that, with a rebound right at the end. You feel for her on what has been an uneven day for Metal Sumkin. Great young gymnast who's still learning to develop consistency on the international stage, but she's had injury lately, couldn't compete at the European Championships, so that really should be kept in the forefront of our minds, lest we find ourselves too critical. You have to allow a young athlete to have ups and downs. You've got to allow people to learn how to find their feet on the big stage on a consistent basis, because when it's there, it's really there for her. Super finish that, isn't it? Really memorable. Nice for them to be able to sit together as teammates throughout this competition due to the luck of the draw, the random draw. Wow, look at that performance from Munitz, 30 and a half, and she is in the lead in the all-around competition from the 13th best in qualification. Coach Giulietta Cantalupi, herself a hugely decorated rhythmic gymnast in her time. This first group has really set the standard. Now the last performance of Tara Dragaš. This has got a bit of ferocity to it. It's got a sense of mood. What a fine finish from Tara Dragaš of Italy, who brings her all-around final to a close. She was 13th at the last World Championships, her debut. It's a great routine, that. And I say this as a positive, in the nicest possible way. It's horrible. And sometimes it should be. Art should not necessarily make you feel comfortable. You don't have to sit there and smile when you watch a piece of rhythmic gymnastics. That is discordant. It makes you feel, frankly, like a cold shiver has come across you. But it should, because the music is designed to evoke that. And she brings this strange balletic grace to something that is actually quite rebarbative, that really pushes you back. Wonderful when art can ask questions as to how comfortable you're actually feeling watching it. 28.95, great finish. Congratulations to Metal Sumkin. Showing real character after a difficult day. Here's the pace setter. looking to go beyond Daniela Muniz, who is currently leading. And you'd back her to do it. Imagine if Taisia Onofrichuk could go from 12th in qualification to on the podium. She produced an amazing display at the European Championships to get the all-around bronze medal, having won the title the previous year. She's as tough as people come, this young athlete. Here we go, last performance. Time for Taisia Onofrichuk to do her thing. Forget about qualification. Today's a new day. It might be her day. From Group 2 to pole position, Taisia Onofrichuk of Ukraine. Absolutely phenomenal. Character, control, complexity. The day has been her at her best. And maybe, just maybe, it's been helpful to come out here first of all, to perform in the first group, to get the job done. And now she can just wait and see what the rest do. So in third place at the moment is Tara Dragash, 29.05. Nice finish for her. She has gained over 3 marks from qualification. I think this is one of the best first group displays that I can remember. The Asian Championships winner and the Asian Games all-around gold medalist completes her campaign with what was her strongest exercise in qualifying. 28.95 in the preliminary stage for this. Here is Takhmina Ikromova. It really has been a session full of such high-quality rhythmic gymnastics. When you think that we've still got the top 9 qualifiers to come, what a great standard set by this chasing group, who look like, frankly, they're going to need people to chase after them. Now, so far, Tahmina Ikramova has improved upon everything she's done in qualification. Whether that will be the case here is less clear-cut, but mainly because the score was so high anyway in the preliminary stage. It's a few rotations in well there. What a lovely snap into that finish coming out of those rolls. Now, how big is the number going to be? What's the total? She is going to lead, and she leads with 116.05, 28.5 for Taisia Onofrichuk, who gains 2 1/4 marks from qualifying with that last exercise. We'll crunch the numbers a bit more closely for her in just a moment. But we cannot let this gymnast out of our sights because she's been making such a great case for herself. Hope that she can really finish on a high here, because this was her weakest scoring apparatus, only by a small amount in qualification. But she deserves to go out with a bang because it's been so impressive to watch her. This is Wang Qi from the People's Republic of China, the 15-year-old. She is the youngest in this group, but she looks at home. Take a moment, Wang Qi. Just look around you, realise where you are, realise what you've done. Just let time freeze for a second and congratulate yourself, because that is a super all-around debut at the Senior World Championships. And we're going to see a lot more of her, no question. Just to tell you her story in a little more detail now, there's just a moment to breathe. Her mother was very involved in rhythmic gymnastics, both her parents very sporty people, but she wanted her daughter to find her own interest. Didn't push her away from the sport, but didn't push her to it. It was quite a delicate balance. Clearly she was always going to be heading there anyway because of her love of dance. 30 for Ikramova, great finish. She's in 3rd position. When you consider that she was the 18th best in qualifying. And just to give you a number that really matters here, Taisia Onofrichuk has added 7.1 to her qualification score, the total across the 4 exercises. Now, just when you thought things couldn't get any better, how could we possibly be having any more fun, you'd be asking yourself. It's the World Championships, it's the individual all-around final. Is there a way to make it better? Yes, says Barbara Domingos. Here's some Kylie Minogue. And so the competition concludes for Barbie Domingos of Brazil. The gymnast who is such a fantastic advertisement for longevity in this sport, for perseverance. I want to just quickly run through some of the honours in her career. She has, would you believe, 12 gold medals at the Pan American Championships, along with 12 silver medals and 7 bronze. She has 5 gold medals at the South American Games, 17 gold medals at the South American Championships. The first Brazilian to qualify for the individual all-around final at the World Championships. First Brazilian individual to qualify for the Olympic Games. Those are huge, huge, era-defining accomplishments. Well done, Wong Chi. 28.25. She finishes with a gain from qualification. She has either held or improved upon every single routine from qualifying, and the one that she held was her top scoring preliminary mark anyway.
No rushing. Strong hand, beginning to the end. Bye-bye. You got this.
Last moments of instruction from the coach for the last gymnast to perform in this session before we pause for just a moment and then come to the top qualifiers. And what a way to finish for the gymnast who won a silver medal with the ribbon at the Uzbekistan World Cup earlier in the season. It is someone who's performing superbly here at the World Championships, Rin Keys of the USA. And this is such an iconic bit of music as well. Such an exciting way to finish with one of the up-and-coming gymnasts of the world. The stage has been set, the standard of this first group, terrific. We are, appropriate enough when you consider the music she's just used, ram-jammed with top competitors in this first half of the competition. Well done. She had a little bit of a clomp of the ribbon at the start, but dealt with it so calmly. Would have been easy for that to get knotted. And then what can happen is that you can find that you have elements invalidated if you've got a knotted ribbon, if the flight is really impacted. Otherwise it can just be a small deduction. She managed to deal with that potential issue. .27.25 for Domingos. Virtually the same as qualification. We've got one score to come in. That's if Keys can complete all of the selfies and autographs in time. Yes, go get the score first, come back and do those. Well, she's holding a Snoopy, but her total score is not going to be peanuts because she's had a very successful day. It's great to see a young athlete really enjoying the experience of a Championships of the World. Because although it's immense fun for us, it's huge for them. It's such a big occasion. Again, those lovely fouettes, keeping the raised leg at the horizontal position or above, making sure it doesn't drop below to, again, risk invalidation of the difficulty. Those of you who just need a quick reminder as to your French ballet terms, fouette meaning whipped, and it's easy to see why, because of the whipping action of the leg and the raising of the body into the releve position up onto the toes. It does require, a little bit like horticulture requires an understanding of Latin, ballet and rhythmic gymnastics requires a bit of a grasp of the French language, because there's so many fundamental terms that come from French, particularly the turns. But they make lots of sense when you actually understand where they come from, like chaîné, meaning chain, because they do look like a chain of turns as they're performed. So after this score comes in, there'll be a little break in play. Not a hugely long one, but enough time for you to pop the kettle on and maybe take the dog for a short walk. Just a quick stroll around the block, as long as the weather's not too hot. Just coming up to around 20 past 6 in Frankfurt. Lots of the youngsters waiting for autographs have realised they're on the camera, and there in the foreground, just for a moment, those bronze, silver and gold medals that are going to be awarded at the close of play today, and with them the plane tickets as well, because the nation of the gymnast who finishes first, second and third all get an Olympic ticket. So it really is a points mean prizes sort of day. up by 9/10 from qualification. Great display from Keys. Just in a moment, we'll bring you the intermediary results. Tell you how things are looking at the halfway stage of this engrossing final. Keys is in the bronze medal position as things stand. The standings. Taisia Franfrukt of Ukraine is the top performer at the moment, with Israel's Daniela Munitz and the USA's Rin Keys second and third. We still have 9 gymnasts to come.